All About Fishing with Big Kev, a 1-year review on a Lund Impact XS 1875. Welcome to All About Fishing with Big Kev. Hey, 1 year to the date, I picked up my brand new 22 Lund Impact XS 1875. So what I thought I'd do today is give you a rundown of issues I've had, how they were fixed, and some changes I've made since my first video. So we're gonna start at the front of the boat and work our way back. First of all, with the Dorado, I had zero problems with the Dorado. I had zero problems with my boat EFX steps. The only problem I had with the trailer is the solenoid that's in here that bypasses the brake system when you're backing up. It failed. Contacted my dealer within a week, fixed, brand new, working like a champ. As far as the hull goes, I've had zero issues with rivets. I've had zero leaks, dry as it could ever be after a year. Excellent. Paint quality stayed together. The only thing I've had to replace is I had one of these detents come off. I contacted my dealer within a week. I asked him to go ahead and just ship them to me. I knew how to put them on instead of driving an hour and a half to my dealer. So in about a week, I had them in the mail. In fact, Lund sent me 2 sets, so I still have an extra set to put on if these fail again. The only other thing that failed on the outside of the boat is this pinstripe. There's a little gray pinstripe right here that from the blue paint to the silver paint. It peeled up. I contacted my dealer, showed him a couple pictures. Again, I have done that work. Within a week, that was fixed. And the new tape came in from Lund, enough tape to do the whole boat, and I got that fixed, and I've had zero issues since then. One other issue I've had with this boat is up here are some screws that screw this deck, the console deck, on both sides. These screws screw it down to the aluminum. They have worked their way up. After about 6 months of use, I noticed a couple of them popping up. There's about 3 or 4 here, maybe 1 on the front, and then 3 or 4 on the other side. So what I did is I took them out, I put a little bit of Loctite on them, I screwed them back down. I've never had another issue. Outside of that, the boat has been an excellent machine. I mean, it's a fishing machine. I've had no issues with the motor. I've had no issues with my Talon. No issues with the trailer other than that backup solenoid. So as far as the outside of the boat, this is after 1 year's use. It's stored outside, covered up with a couple tarps or a couple boat covers. I have the factory cover, and then I bought a cheapie cover for 125 bucks off Amazon, and I put it over the Lund travel cover just to kind of preserve it as much as it cost. And it also covers my trolling motor, so that helps. So that's the changes or the problems that I've encountered on the outside with the outside of the hull and the trailer. We're going to get in the boat, and I'm going to discuss a few options that I've changed, and I'm going to discuss a few problems I've had on the inside. All right, we're back inside the boat here. Now, I've only had a couple small problems on the inside of the boat. I've had more changes once I got used to using the boat in my fishability or what I want to do fishing wise. So I'm going to show you kind of both those things inside the boat. The first thing that I had fail on the inside of the boat is on the seat, where the seat here meets this plastic base. Down here, I had it separate up. And so all I did was send a picture of this to my dealer. I did have to take the mount off the bottom of the seat because there is a tag on there that's got an identification number. I sent that to him. In about 2 weeks, I had a brand new seat shipped to me direct from Lund to replace the one. And I did not send the old seat back in. They just don't want it. So that was rectified, and I have not had any seat problems since. The air shock still worked great. As far as the live well goes, no issues. I run it 99% of the time without the divider, but I've had no issues with it as well. So one thing out of the gate last year that I figured out I was going to have problems with, I run 3 graphs with Active Target. Active Target uses quite a bit of electricity, battery juice. So I wanted to get my electronics an extra boost, and my trolling motor has 2 batteries, so I put a second battery with my start battery to do my electronics, and I added a second battery charger on the back end of the boat. So in here, I added a digital charger, and then they hooked up a second battery, and so I'm running, that charger is doing both batteries. So this battery comes over, hooks to this one, and then doubles my amp hour capacity for my electronics. So my storage area here is now a battery compartment, and my extra little area over here is a digital charger, which they ran it out through here and it plugs in right here. I don't have to get into the back of the boat or in the boat to do anything. I just unplug it out of this holder, plug it into an extension cord. So that's what I've done in the back. As far as this cooler goes that they did on 2022s, it works great for dry storage. If it's a really hot day, it's not going to hold ice very long. But other than that, it's great dry storage. The rod holders, the on-the-go rod holders worked really well. You'd be surprised how many times you button them down and go. It's so convenient. So if you're looking at a new boat, that is probably one of the biggest options that's going to be worth your money. And that's this band here. And then the tubes are up front there where you put your rod tips. And then as far as this storage goes, I used it for spare a couple rods for the grandkids and a few items, my pole and my lighting and stuff's in there. But no problems with that. No issues with the under console drawers. They worked great. And one issue I did have is in this compartment right here under the steering wheel. I noticed things were getting wet, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I talked to my dealer. They looked at it, and you have a water pickup on your speedometer. What Lund does, for some reason, and I don't know why, when they hook that tube up to that speedometer, they just put a tie wrap on it. My dealer went in there, took the tie wrap off, put an actual hose clamp on it. Zero problems. Nothing. The rod locker, I got my stuff stowed away for winter right now. I'm getting ready to put it back in, but it worked out great. There's the charger for the battery and the batteries for the trolling motors. It worked out really good. But I gotta load this back up with rods. Zero issues with the glove box. I've used the radio maybe twice. Works. Never had any problems with it. So my Lowrance electronics work like a champ. That's not really a Lund deal, but they're in the boat. They work like a champ. So I bought the boat with 4 pedestal chairs in it, thinking I was going to put one on the back and one on the front. And the more I got fishing and people in here fishing with me, the more I realized that we didn't sit on the back deck as much. We used the front deck and stood back here. So I took one of the chairs out of the boat And Boat EFX has these pedestal plugs that you can get from their website to keep debris and things from filling up your plugs. So I got those on the mounts there just to keep them clean. But I also purchased a pole and bike seat up front. I don't really put one of the Lund folding seats up there anymore. I found sitting down and fishing is a little more complicated for me than half sitting on a bike seat and fishing off the deck. The cargo bow nets I used all the time. Live well up front. I really never have used it for a live well. I've always used it for a cooler or storage. One thing I changed is I went to what they call a Stowaway XL graph mount, and that's this pole right here, and this is their dual mount for 2 electronics. And the reason I went to that and took my ram mounts that were mounted on that front wall, if you watch the old video, I wanted to get my graphs higher. I'm sitting here, I've got my active target going, I'm looking down, I'm jigging. Everything is right here, not way down here. So I got that, and I'm excited about getting that used up. And then plus, this actually folds down and lays down so that my Lund cover works with this unit. Another thing I changed on the boat is I went to the Sea Light transducer pole mount. I had a homemade one that I made, and I went ahead and went to the Sea Light transducer pole mount. This is a really awesome mount. I used the Lund track system to mount it. So this comes off and lays in the bottom here, and that gets it up there and gets it out away from the boat a little bit, makes it really handy, and the pole's long enough. So that works out really well. But outside of that, all my chargers worked. I know the carpet looks good, but I put the boat away. I bought one of them little $99 carpet shampooers. I've done it twice last year. I did it mid-season and at the end of season. I shampooed all the carpets. Takes like 15 minutes, but it kept them looking newer and didn't have any issues with it. Trolling motor did an exceptional job. Minn Kota iPilot 80-pound, 24 volt. Had no issues with it with this boat. It sickled right along, lasts great with 2 batteries. Again, no windshield problems. But that pretty much explains the boat. Again, 1 year review on a Lund 22 1875 Impact XS. I will say Terry at Glen Elder at Wakanda Boats, exceptional people to work with on service and warranty work. They just were unbelievable, and they knew I lived, you know, 100 miles or 120 miles from them. They worked with me on getting parts that I could handle, changing out myself. They always offered it to get done at no expense of just getting the boat down to them. But with my schedule and my abilities, I went ahead and he just had everything come direct from Lund, and I handled it and had no issues. Now, I did have Wakanda Boats do my battery work and get that all put in the charger work. I'm just not going to mess with the electronics in a brand new boat, so they did that for me. Again, the motor was exceptional. My Minn Kota Talon, no issues. So overall, 98% of this boat is just worry-free. I want to appreciate you for tuning in on a 1 year review on my 1875 Lund Impact. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you got any questions that you're looking at one of these boats or have questions about it, feel free to PM me or leave a message, and I'll be glad to help you out. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the water.